There are thousands of sports being played every day. We see children playing on the streets, professional players playing on the big screen, and all around us, there are sports in action. We all know the basic games: football, cricket, badminton, hockey, and so on. However, do we know where they originated from? What are the 10 oldest sports being played around the world? Today, Purple Hippo brings you the 10 oldest sports that are still played all around the world. Before we start, subscribe to Purple Hippo and ring that bell icon to get regular updates on the latest and most enthralling videos. Now let's start with number 10. Number 10 is hockey. The basic layout of the game involves two teams playing against each other and trying to maneuver a ball or a puck into the opponent's goal using a hockey stick. They try to push the ball into each other's goalpost using a curved long stalk, which is called hockey. Now, who came up with this idea? Hockey is the oldest sport, and it originated from the crude game being played in Egypt around 4,000 years ago and in Ethiopia around 1000 BC. Moreover, a form of this game was played in Iran in around 2000 BC. The evidence of its antiquity can be found via the drawings found in tombs and pyramids. At number 9 is the horse riding. Horse riding is very popular in United Arab Emirates and Europe. Millions of dollars are spent on horse riding shows and competitions, the breeding of the horses, and the preparation of the field. However, the question remains as to who thought of such a lavish sport. Moreover, where did it originated from? So why don't we check it out? The history of horseback riding goes back to 50 million years. It started with a small animal, Hyracotherium, which is an unusually long name for a small animal. But anyway, it lived in North America. Although the first evidences of horse riding date back to 1000 BC, when they first appeared in armies, recent evidence points out that horse riding began much earlier than that. In the old age, the only difference was that they were used as a wild game, domestic sources of food, and as mounts for around that time, the horses were too small to actually carry people. Gradually, over a series of natural selection and mutation, the horses evolved and so did the minds of the people. They began seeing them as a pivotal mode of transportation. This paved a path for harnesses being invented in around 2000 BC, and when people got the wild idea of riding horses and making a game out of it. So, horse riding wasn't just a one-day thing. Years and years shaped the idea and made it what it is today. Number 8 is boxing. We all know about boxing and we all love boxing. It is a very interesting sport which teaches us strength, speed, and stamina of the fighters by throwing them in a ring together and while asking them to punch each other. Today, boxing is a big deal and boxers are super duper rich. Where did it come from though? The earliest evidence of boxing dates back to Egypt around 3000 BC. It was introduced to the ancient Olympic Games by the Greeks in the late 7th century BC. On the 6th January of 1681, the first recorded match of boxing took place in Britain between Christopher Monk's butler and his butcher, with the latter winning the prize. Back then, the sports actually had no written rules. Today, however, it has evolved into a professional sport with a set of rules that must be followed for the safety of the players. Number 7. Gymnastics. Gymnastics test an individual's flexibility, agility, balance, and physical strength. It is the Greeks who we should thank for such an amazing sport, for they came up with it, and later on it was included in the modern Olympic Games of 1986. Gymnastics is usually divided amongst female and male gymnastics and involves floor exercises, parallel bars, high bars, uneven bars, balance beam, floor exercises, and so on. Number 6. The polo. Polo is considered to be a rich sport. We see fancy people clad in white pants and boots, playing polo in different magazines, in different movies, videos, and so on. However, it isn't just considered to be a big deal in this age. Amongst all others, polo is considered to be of the most majestic of ancient sports. It can be traced back to the 4th century to the people of the Sassanid dynasty. Number 5. The discus throw. Discus throw isn't a very popular game, so if some of you don't know how it's played, let us tell you. The game involves a track and field event that involves throwing a disc to as far a distance as possible. Its roots can be traced back as early as 15th century BC in Europe. The game involves 6 key movements that are marked as wind up, move in rhythm, balance, right leg engine, orbit, and delivery. Moreover, it is one of the ancient pentathlons in 708 BC, which makes it one of the most played sports in the ancient times. Number 4, we have the javelin throw. We all recognize the javelin throw from the Olympic Games. It involves a participant throwing a stick-type instrument called a javelin as far as possible. It was played in the ancient Mycenaean and Romans. Back then, however, a lighter javelin was used. Today, it involves a javelin which is much heavier, which makes the game actually harder than its older version. Moreover, this game is also mentioned in the records of the ancient Olympics, officially marking it as one of the older sports in the world. Thus, it is no surprise that this is number 4 on our list of the top 10 oldest games being played in the world. Number 3, the long jump. So, long jump may seem like an easy sport, but trust us, it is not. Long jumps involve intense muscle strength and flexibility that allows the athlete to control and change his or her direction. The person who leaps the farthest distance from the takeoff point is considered to be the winner. Long jump originates from the ancient Olympics in 656 BC according to the records. Moreover, it is also the only jumping event in the original Olympics game in ancient Greece. It emerged from the practicing of jumping around obstacles such as the streams and ravines in the older era. How fascinating is that? Number 2 is wrestling. Now this sport is all about power. To win this sport is an immense source of pride as it judges the strongest man in the ring. In ancient times, winning this meant that you are the strongest person in society, and this was a big deal in the older times. Wrestling was found by the French around 15,000 years ago and has also been part of the ancient Olympics. Today, it is a career and a very popular sport all over the world. Millions of people train for it and devote their lives to playing it in the ring. Are any of you wrestling fanatics? Let us know in the comments below. So at number 1, we have running. We know running is such a common thing that none of us really thought of it as an actual sport that originated from somewhere. I mean, hasn't running always been around? Because if it hasn't been, what did people do before running? Well, let us see before our minds blows. According to evidence, it can be dated back to 777 in the first recorded Olympic Games. In that era, there were only around 4 sports in contrast to the hundreds of them being played today. So what sets running apart from the others is that it is both a sport and training requisite for other sports. It is judged upon 2 phases that involves the stance and the swing. Wow! It's surprising to see that sports today actually date back many years ago. Which sports origin surprised you the most? And which of these sports are your favorite? If you like this video, make sure to share this with your friends and subscribe to Purple Hippo, and also don't forget to ring that bell icon to stay tuned to our awesome content. Thanks for watching the 10 oldest sports in the world. Stay tuned and see you in the next video.